I think I'm watching my husband cheat on me in real time. Posted by you, Lizard Queen 742. I 33 female have been married to my husband 33 male for 3 years now. Been together for 7. The first year we were together, we lived 3 hours away from each other. And one weekend while I was at his place, I had found out he cheated on me. We worked through it, he moved in with me, and we've been pretty good ever since. I like to think we have a relatively strong marriage, or at least I did. Last week he told me he had to go away this week for work. His best friend back home is having some pretty serious mental health issues and can no longer be allowed to use power tools. However, he was in the middle of a building project that needs to get done, so said friend's dad hired my husband to finish the job with him. So it's like a work trip, but also not a work trip, I guess. He told me he was leaving Tuesday and would be back Friday. Since he left, I haven't spoken to him for more than 5 minutes at a time. Usually when he's away for work, he's calling me 5 times a day, which I thought was weird, but just assumed he was busy hanging out. Tonight, technically last night. So Wednesday, he once again only calls me for 10 minutes and tells me that not only is he now staying until Sunday, even though he sent me pictures of the job half done already, but that he's going to get his car looked at, which is why he can't talk long because he worked late and still has to take the car in. When I asked him where he was taking the car to get fixed so late, it was almost 10 o'clock at this point, and he said he had a buddy next town over an hour away that was going to take a look at it tonight, give him a quote and get parts, and get it fixed Thursday. Huge red flags now, because if he was going to a friend's house, he always tells me who, it's never just a buddy. And as his wife, I know he only has 2 friends that still live in that town, and neither of them know shit about cars. We have a tracking app that we use for us and our kids' phones, so I decided to look on that. He got there at midnight. It's now 3 a.m. and he's still there. And it's neither of said friends' houses, I just know. My gut is just screaming that this is exactly what I think it is, and I'm sick to my stomach. My best friend is asleep and she's all I have. And I just had to get this off my chest before I explode. Update. He stayed until 6:30 this morning. Called me at 7:30, while still on the road pretending to be just waking up. I don't think he understands how our app works. Said that his car couldn't get fixed because parts are seized. Still never mentioned what friend. He pretty much just proved it to me there. I appreciate all your kind words and advice on broken, so forgive me if I don't answer replies. Just know I appreciate it. Update 2, answering questions. Now that I've had most of a day to really think about everything and had a good talk with my best friend about it as well, this is where we're at. When he called me this morning, I was making coffee. I told him I was making coffee, and he said, coffee? I should go get some of that. I just woke up, and I haven't gotten the chance yet except when he left this morning. He went to the closest coffee shop before he left town. So again, another lie. And to answer the recurring question of why are you tracking him if you trust him? The answer is I'm not. Well, I wasn't before now, lol. We got the app last week when our kids started walking to school on their own, so we could see they were getting home safe. In turn, they can see where we are when we're out of the house. I didn't force him to get a tracking app, and it wasn't to catch him doing anything, although it did kind of work out that way, I guess. So the story he gave me was he went over there for his buddy. He finally gave me a name. Let's call him John. And I know of John, but I've never met him in person, which is why I think he thinks he's a good patsy to fix something on his car. He said they couldn't get it unstuck with home tools, so he came home. But John's a mechanic, so he's gonna talk to his boss today and see if he'll allow them to come in after hours tonight to fix it in the shop. And he was just waiting on confirmation of that and a quote for parts. Now here's the problem. Although John is a mechanic, John doesn't work nor live in the city he was in last night. And as soon as he said quote for parts, I realized that that means he doesn't have the parts yet. Which means if his story were true, they would have been taking apart the car with no parts to put it back together. Which makes 0 sense, and that's what put it all together for me. That, and while I was on the phone with him, his best friend woke up and asked him if he was just getting in from last night, and I literally listened to him stumble to come up with an answer because he knew I could hear him. That one cut deep. But he said no. I came home last night, surprised you didn't hear me. Lead to his best friend too, which is super suspicious. I have, both from reading these comments and talking with friends, decided that I'm going to keep it low and cool. I'm not going to confront him because I don't see a point. He's either going to deny it, flip it, or admit it and beg for forgiveness, and honestly, I don't want to deal with any of that right now. What I need to do is get my ducks in a row to get out, so that's what the plan is going forward. I feel humiliated, I feel stupid AF, but above all else, I'm pissed. Pissed at him, pissed at me, just pissed TF off. And to everyone who asked why I didn't leave the first time, I'm not even gonna be mad about it. It's a valid question, and the answer is that he put in the work to prove it was a mistake. I had never been cheated on before, and I was naive. We went through therapy and a lot of work, and he put in all the effort I ever asked for to prove that this is what he really wanted. He really fooled me, so yeah, y'all are right. I should have had more self-respect then. I should have known, and I didn't. And I'll be the first to admit now that I'm an idiot, and I'll be sure to use it as a life lesson going forward. Hey y'all, a lot of people have been asking for an update, so here we go. So he finally came home Saturday night. I had spent the entire week gathering the information I need for divorce, but what I really needed for myself was proof. Proof that this was anything other than what I think it was. Proof that I was crazy for ever thinking he would do this to me. Instead, I found her. He claims he went over to her house but never actually slept with her. He entertained her, but never slept with her. Spent the night, but didn't sleep with her, and I just couldn't believe that. He told me he only entertained her because she made it easy to give her attention. And that's when I walked out. I spent the day with my bestie, drank, a lot. And I decided for my own closure, I needed to know if he really did sleep with her. One way or another, he took off his ring and walked into that house, so I was done. But for my own peace of mind, I needed to know the truth, and I wasn't going to get it from him. I found her number in his phone the night he got home, so I just called her. Turns out he lied about being married, obviously, and took advantage of a poor girl who had recently gotten out of an abusive relationship and finally put her trust into someone again. He did sleep with her, even left her his shirt because he wouldn't be back for 2 weeks. Yes, he was planning on going back if I didn't find out. He made this poor girl think he loved her, and I'm disgusted. He hurt so many people with this shit, so here we are. I'm obviously a 33-year-old single mom, terrified of life ahead. I haven't eaten in days. My body has been in fight or flight for so long now that I'm currently sitting at the hospital hoping someone can help me reset it so I can finally sleep for once this week and my heart can have a break. I'm a mess to say the least. But I seriously want to thank everyone for the advice and kind words. This is a literal nightmare that I feel like I can't wake up from, and the sweet messages really help, so thank y'all again. Here's to hoping it gets better.